Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be doing a collective energy reading for an energy that I am seeing at the moment. So I first of all want to say off the bat, this message isn't for everybody. It just seems to be an energy that I'm picking up on, that I'm seeing kind of around me, and also is very much reflected in the cards, and it feels like this is for a certain group of people. So if you're here watching this, then it could very well be for you. But like I say, it depends on who's watching this really, it's for a group of people. So I thought I'd start with that. And before I get into the reading, I'm also going to say here that the reason I think this is coming up is because, as some of you may already know if you're into any astrology, that we have a lunar eclipse, North Node solar eclipse in Aries. There we go. Oh, it's a mouthful. And that's coming up on Monday. So I feel like this reading is specifically for people who are really feeling the effects of this particular eclipse. I don't think eclipses affect everybody in the same way, but I feel like this one is affecting a certain group of people, and there's a message that really wants to come through specifically for you. I also want to mention as well that we've got quite a lot of Aries energy in general. So we've got Venus moving into Aries later on today. We've also got the Sun in Aries, we've got Chiron in Aries, we've got this lunar eclipse, sorry, I keep saying lunar eclipse, we had the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse coming up in the North Node. And it's also worth mentioning that North Node eclipses are always around something that we are moving towards that is for our soul's growth. So North Node is moving towards a sense of something that is, our purpose, our soul growth is something we're here to grow into. So this is why eclipses can be quite uncomfortable, because as much as our soul wants to go there, our human selves might be like, no, I don't want to, I want to stay where it's comfortable, I want to stay in the South Node, which is the familiar, which is the comfortable, and the eclipses are here to sort of shake things up and say, that's great, but unfortunately, to your human self, we're here to move into what our souls really want us to grow into. And that's why I think solar eclipses get a bit of a bad rap in terms of oh no, they're so terrible and whatever. Again, I see this a lot, and I never like subscribing to that kind of mentality. I always think it's yes, it's challenging, but it's always happening for us. So there is a group of people that's really struggling to move towards that. It feels like there's some real resistance getting in the way, and I wanted to do a reading to first of all talk about the themes that I'm seeing, and then also how to navigate some of this energy and some guidance to come through to help with this. So without further ado, let's start the reading. So I'm going to start with the themes, and I'll show you the cards that I have for that. So first of all, we've got here Prince of Discs. So again, just having a look at that, seeing what's coming through intuitively for you. Okay. Then we've got Seven of Cups, Debauch. Again, just having a quick look, seeing what comes through for you. And then we've got the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups has been showing her face so much recently, which I'm very happy about. I love this card. Okay. All right, so off the bat, what I am really seeing here, there's something, it feels to me like the Prince of Discs, if you look at the image, he's riding a bull, and it's got very Taurus energy, which to me, it feels like it's, there's a stubbornness here. I'm really seeing the image of there's some of you that are no, I like it here, I don't want to move, I don't want to change, I like things as they are, I want to stay still. And it's kind of what I'm really getting is if you try and resist what is coming for you, then it's going to be a lot harder. So there's something here about a real stubbornness. And then we've also got the Seven of Cups, and if you look at the image of the card, it's not a very pretty card. Crowley, the deck that I'm using is the Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley, And yeah, it looks a little bit sludgy, like it's not very abundant, everything's kind of drippy and stuff. And to me, what it feels like this is, in traditional tarot, Seven of Cups energy can be very sort of like indecisive. So it's like there's maybe here something here about a need to make a decision and not actioning on anything, and then like getting analysis paralysis. Like in traditional tarot, there's a picture of someone looking at all of these different options, and there's like a shiny object, so you like shiny object syndrome, and it's like, oh, I should pick that, or maybe I should pick that, and there's this feeling of like, I don't quite know what to do, and that as a result of that, nothing gets done. It's like a need to make a decision about something and like take action on that thing. Feels like there's something about that coming through here. Yeah, and this is also a Venus in Scorpio card. So Venus glyph there, Scorpio glyph there. I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit hard to see. And Venus in Scorpio is in its fall, like it's not very comfortable there. So that's, again, it's something here about like it's not comfortable, like, but what I'm really getting from this is that it's made more uncomfortable because we're resisting it. It's like facing the storm, while that feels scary and we don't really always want to do that, is actually the preferable option here, because by fighting it we create more resistance and more pain. Like we're in the storm for longer when we turn away from it, if that makes sense. Like if you face it on, then the storm will pass quicker. It's like there's something really strongly coming through about that right now. And then we've also got the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups to me really speaks of she's very imaginative, highly intuitive, and there's something here about like going into your imagination and like dreaming of what it is that you want really, and like feeling the energy of like how beautiful things could be. Because even though this isn't a Venus card, like for me it always feels like Venus, and Venus is very much about beauty and like how things could be and creating beauty in the world. So it's not specifically Venus, but with the colours of blue and green, that's Venus's colours. It just feels very like there's something about a need to create more beauty in our lives, and there's so much Venus energy happening astrologically as well, like Venus moving into Aries, and we had a Venus-Neptune conjunction yesterday, so Venus is quite active at the moment. So there's something about capitalizing on this energy. Okay, so there's more to that. We'll get deeper into it in a minute. The questions I then asked was, what is the guidance around this sort of stubborn energy? Like what can we do? Because I don't like to sort of say like, oh, this is happening and good luck with that. You know, it's like, okay, so what do we do with this? What are we being told here? And the first card that came out was the Ace of Wands. So again, just having a look at that, seeing what comes through to you. Immediately for me, what is coming out is again, aces are always about beginnings. So there's something very early on right now. It's not necessarily about you're not that far into the journey, but something needs to start. It's like there's a need to start something. And with it being wands, it feels like there's something about starting something that you're passionate about, something that lights you up, and something like, it feels like for some of you, there's something you know that you want to do, and it's something that you feel passionate about, but there's this other part of you that's going like, no, I can't do that. It's like, yeah, I'll do it later. Like it's something like now's not the time, and it's like, no, now is the time. Like that's very much it. And the other piece to this is like, but here's what your human part needs to know, is that you don't need to have it all figured out right now. And like what I'm getting is, you don't need to like quit your job. Like let's say, for instance, let's use an example. Let's say, for instance, there's somebody out there who's like doing a job that they don't really want to do anymore, and they know it's not really lighting them up. And the message is very much about like needing to make steps to get out of that job. It's not that you have to quit your job straight away and like just, you know, throw everything up in the air, but you need to start moving towards something that your soul, because we're in this North Node eclipse happening, like something that your soul is calling you forth to do. So it could just be as simple as like you're looking to reduce your hours, so setting like a deadline for doing less hours at your job. Or it could be like simple as like trying to think of examples now, making that phone call to a client that you wanted to get. Like there's really something here of like, we need to stop doing the things that that our soul isn't here to do, but we have to start making the steps towards that which it is meant to do. And it can just be little things like making the phone call, or like setting a deadline for when you're going to leave. Like that's all that is required right now. It's not the having to actually do that thing. Now for some of you, if that feels like resonant for you to leave your job and you're actually in a position where you can do that, awesome. But it feels like it's not necessarily that. It's just about taking the steps, like making the call. Yeah, I'm really getting someone like needs to make a call, like you need to send a text, you need to send an email, like doing that first step, that first thing that's like moving you on that trajectory, like getting that new client or something. Now it doesn't have to be in the realms of like your career, but it could even be a relationship. Like maybe you've outgrown a relationship that's no longer fulfilling you anymore. Yeah, it's about fulfillment. Like we need to stop doing the things that aren't fulfilling for us now. And the universe feels like it's really like saying like, do it now. Like you've got to start. You have to start something, and it just has to be something small, but it's something that's setting an intention to move you forward. So it's like, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's so worth, like it's so coming through so strongly, this feeling of you need to let the universe know that you are moving there, like, and not being like, no, I'll do it, putting it off, no, I'll do it later. It's like, no, do something now to indicate that you're on that path. And for some of you, it might even be in the context of health. Like, let's say you wanted to start like going to the gym or like looking after yourself, and you want something there, but you need to take that first step. Like, I'm going to get the gym membership. Like you don't even need to go to the gym, you just need to get the membership. It's that kind of energy. Again, it might not manifest that way for you, but like as in getting a gym membership, but it's that kind of energy. Okay, so I asked for some more guidance. I felt like we needed lots today. And we've got here the Magus. And the Magus is here because the Magus is saying, because you can have what you want. Look at him. He's like this. He's like, whatever I want, I can have. You are the magician. You are the one that makes things happen. You co-create with the universe, yes. And the universe is now going, it feels like the universe is like going, come on, let's go. And you're like going, no, I don't want to. But it's like, but you have to be the one that steps forward. You have to meet the universe halfway. And it only has to be something small. And I keep saying that so that the human part of you isn't freaking out too much, because if it's this huge thing, it might be overwhelm your nervous system, and that's too big a leap and you're like, no, I can't do that. So something little that you go, do you know what, I could do that. Like that's something I could do. I could get a gym membership, sure. I could email that person, sure. Something little. And if that feels too big, then do something even smaller than that. Like look up something on YouTube to what to do in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever, that kind of thing. Okay, so the last card I got was Swiftness. So again, this, right, but sorry, there's so much fire energy, I'm like, right, okay. So let's break this down. We've got Mercury in Sagittarius. So Mercury, very quick, very fast acting. The Magus is also a Mercury card. If you can see there, that's the Mercury glyph. So lots of mercurial energy, which is a quick, fast moving planet, fast talking, fast acting. I'm feeling a lot of that mercurial energy today, can you tell? And Sagittarius is fire. So Mercury quick, fire quick. There's something that needs to be acted on today. Like that's what it feels like. That's why I needed to get this message out today, because it's like now is the time to take that step. Like move quickly on it. Do something. Throw out all of your like junk food if you're trying to eat better. You know what I mean? Like some kind of gesture. Do something today that's moving you towards the person that you are trying to become and who you want to become, who you need to become, what your soul is trying to evolve you into becoming. Like that's really what's coming through. But the really lovely news here is that like you can totally have this. Like, your manifestation power is really quick right now. Like, the other message that's coming through with these three is that, like, things are coming through really quickly. Like, if you make that step, like, things will happen for you, like, fast. Things are coming through really quickly, and you have that power, but you do have to take the first step. Like, it has to come from you. The universe can only go so far for you. And I'm getting a lot of masculine energy as well, and this has been, like, something that's really coming through. So, like, there's something about integrating healthy masculine energy here, and what that means is, like, let's say you wanted to start a podcast, right? I don't know, doesn't matter, like, that might not be it, but let's say that's, like, the stirrings of something in you. It's like, I want to start my own podcast, I want to start something that's, like, I'm passionate about, that I want to share. You would need to do certain logistical things first to make that happen. So the space in which you're doing the podcast is very feminine, because it's free flow and, like, flowy and just, like, letting the magic happen. But without the container, which is the masculine, without the container to sort of hold the space for the feminine to flourish, like, that's what the masculine does. So there's, like, you need to set up your Spotify account, you need to create a bio, you need to, like, set the space, the container, for the magic to happen. Like, you can have a podcast, but without that, it doesn't go to anybody. Like, nobody's going to see it. So it feels like starting to create those, like, little things in your life so that you can allow this magic to flow through. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let me see if there's any more guidance, please. I'm going to get this deck. Okay, so I'm going to use a Work Your Light deck. Been using this deck loads recently. Feels very much just the deck that wants to be used. See if there's any more messages for this particular group of people. Sorry, my hair's getting in the way there. Ooh, hello. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's one more message actually. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So first card we've got here, get grounded. So yeah, so like I was saying before, there was something here in this reading that was talking about if you take action too quickly, it will be stressful for your nervous system. So, like, taking the baby steps. So getting grounded is a really good way of, like, settling your nervous system so that you can actually take the action. Like, if you go into this kind of, like, overwhelm, yeah, that's what it is. Because this card really speaks of, like, that kind of analysis paralysis of, like, oh, what if I could do this or I could do that, and you're overthinking things. But it's like, just take action on, like, one thing. But if your nervous system's a bit shot, getting grounded, going out in nature is such a good way to, like, signal safety to your nervous system to be able to actually, like, then take that action, however that looks for you. Does that, hopefully that makes sense. And then, yeah, we've got here Unbound. Looking at the imagery, there's something again, it's interesting actually. They're rising up to the full moon here. So there's, again, this solar eclipse. I know it's a solar eclipse, but it's the moon, like, reading as well, obviously, because it's happening. The sun and moon are conjoining. So there's something about going upwards, like the north node to the north node, like, it really feels like that. But yeah, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So it's like releasing this, like, heaviness that's keeping you stuck, like, because it feels like a really stuck energy to me, this card. It's like releasing that so that you can fulfill some kind of purpose here. And then another message that's come through at the bottom of the deck: don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Which again really speaks to, like, maybe for some of you, there's, like, you want something and you know what you want and it's been on the back of your mind for some time, but you're afraid of what other people will think because you're stepping into a new identity, and it's like, oh no, I can't because like someone on Facebook or like Instagram is going to see, and that's like, I can't let them see that. And it's like saying like, you've really got to like release that. And it might even be something as simple as like, whatever you're trying to grow, like don't share it yet. Like, as in, if you wanted to start posting on, you know, we're talking about the podcast, right? You don't have to share it in the group where people know you right now. Like sometimes I think when we're starting something, we need to sort of protect ourselves and not allow like everyone to just see what we're up to, because it might hold you back, and then you're like, no, I'm not going to take it because that's too scary and it's too much risk. So for me, it feels like, yeah, don't dim to fit in. There is an element here of like, you might be allowing someone from high school like to stop you from doing something, or like it could be because we've got unbound here some kind of past life story, like a ancestral trauma, generational trauma, like your parents and their parents couldn't do it, and it's giving you the story of like, it's not possible for me, I need to do the boring, miserable, hard thing. It's a bit brutal actually to say that, but I mean like the thing that's keeping you like not feeling fulfilled is really it, because that's what my parents did and that's what their parents did, and who do I think I am? And there's some kind of energy here, but it's like, but we have to let that go. And if we don't, like, the universe is just going to keep pushing, it's going to keep like nudging, and it's not going to get more comfortable. Like the more you ignore it, it's going to get more uncomfortable, it's going to get louder, it's going to speak louder and louder. And all is required is just that baby step. That's it, just a little baby step. And getting grounded, settling your nervous system if it feels scary, because I often feel like when stubbornness is here, stubbornness is masking fear. Like we're stubborn because we're afraid, right? So get yourself grounded, go out. I would actually go out in nature and do certain things that help to soothe your nervous system. Do maybe breath work. That's another really good way of settling the nervous system and getting present and in the body, like getting out of your head, 7 of Cups, into the body, back into the body. Feel your feet on the floor, walk slowly, breathe, and do all of that stuff. And that's going to allow you to then take this little baby step to create the container for whatever it is that you're trying to grow into. Yeah. Woo! So I hope that was helpful. Like I say, I don't think this message is for everybody, but it might be for you if you're watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Feel free to like, comment. If you want more of this kind of content, subscribe. I'll be posting more and more of these sorts of videos. I do tarot scopes, I do all sorts of stuff. So thank you so much for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.